Has psychology lost its soul, moving beyond labels, diagnoses, and hallowed titles? Today, I want to talk about something very close to my heart. And because it's close to my heart, it also breaks my heart to see where psychology has gone, especially in the past 70 years, since the language of illness began to replace the language of understanding. If you didn't know, the word psychology literally means the study of the soul. Psyche, or psyche in Greek, means soul. Logia, Greek, means study. So when we ask, has psychology lost its soul? We're really asking, has it lost touch with what it was meant to serve? And that's the irony. The field that once sought to understand the human soul has become the system that classifies people, arranging their suffering into tidy clusters of symptoms, neat enough for textbooks, but emptied of the wonder that once made it human. Recently, we have been shaken by the loss of certain high-profile people whose stories spread widely online. Before anything else, I want to honor that grief. A life was lost. A family is in mourning. Nothing I say is meant to diminish that pain. But sometimes in the middle of grief, there's also an opportunity to look closely at the system that keeps misunderstanding human suffering. The reflex to label and medicalize. In moments like this, we often hear phrases like, she was sick, or he had depression. These are ways our culture tries to make sense of the pain. And yet, as psychologist Stephen Hayes reminds us, not one psychiatric syndrome has yet turned into a disease. What he means is this: these diagnoses describe patterns, not causes. They tell us what is happening, but not why. When we call someone sick, we often stop asking what context, what relationships, or what pressures might have shaped their suffering. The obsession with authority. Around the same time, I heard that a network was looking for a resource person, but they insisted the guest must carry the title psychologist. That one requirement captures the irony of our profession. While we talk about mental health for all, we make it sound like a mystery. Only a few are qualified to explain. In other words, we've turned psychology into a priesthood, guarded by titles, not guided by curiosity or compassion. We've mistaken expertise for empathy. And there's a cost to this system. The result is that people who could help, counselors, teachers, mentors, even peers, hesitate to speak. And ordinary people feel more alienated from their own minds, as if understanding themselves requires an advanced degree. But human suffering isn't a rare disease. It's a shared condition, shared by all of us. And help doesn't always come from authority. It often comes from connection. You know what it feels like sometimes? It's as if the system itself is the arsonist. And yet people keep running to the same arsonist to put out the fire that the arsonist created. The supreme irony is this: the very structures that burned us, the hierarchies, the credentials, the gatekeeping, are the same ones we glorify when we're desperate for help. And because of that, we keep mistaking the source of the problem for the source of the solution. Functional contextualism, the science behind acceptance and commitment therapy, offers a simpler, humbler path. Instead of asking what disorder is this, it asks, in what context does this behavior make sense? Instead of asking what labels fit, it asks what helps. It teaches that thoughts and emotions are not diseases to fix, but experiences to understand, and that everyone has the right to learn this language of compassion. Maybe what we need in honor of those we lost is not more labels or titles, but more spaces where people feel seen without being classified. As Hayes said in a podcast interview, we've made psychology about expertise and diagnosis when it should be about shared understanding and human growth. And perhaps the most healing thing we can do for someone in pain is not to diagnose their story, but to stay beside them long enough for it to make sense. Once again, this is Nathan Chua from One Life Only Counseling Services. Please do visit my website. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe. And you can find me on onelifeonly.net and also my YouTube, Spotify, and TikTok channels. Take care. Bye for now.